2011, I started my own commercial window business. My business was running pretty good. I had 4 employees at that particular time. I was approached by a builder in early 2012, a guy called Maxtra Construction. They offered me to do a couple of quotes on some major projects. We were going pretty well. We're putting our claims in. Then a couple of months down the track, our progress claims were starting to get knocked back. He told me that they had a QS report, which was a quantity surveyor, and the percentage that I was claiming was not the percentage that the quantity surveyor was saying that had been completed. I let that go a couple of times. Then I progressed into another contract. We did about 3 months' work there, and the same thing happened again. Our progress payments were getting knocked back severely, which was putting a crunch on me. I started making a bit of noise, contacted the union. It got to the point where there was no funds coming into the company. They were basically strangling us financially. It got to the point where I had to lay off a few of my employees. Then it got to the point that there was no money coming at all. And because I started legal action against those guys, I've had death threats. I've had threats against my family. I've had home visits. I've had guys. I've had my car stolen and caused about $15,000 worth of damage. We're still in the court process at the moment. This builder has a caveat on my property, stating that we owe them money. This builder has a history of 2 years, two businesses prior to this one that he's had. He has 2 failed businesses, one called Andeco, one called Royal Como, or Como Royal. Both times those companies went belly up, and they went belly up on government projects, government-funded projects, council, community centres, etc. We're actually progressing through the court system, and we're trying to get an arbitration hearing to get my case heard with the money that's outstanding to myself. On the 28th of May this year, Frank Nadeni had come out of personal bankruptcy, and he's changed ownership of that company. So he's now the owner of HICOM, HICOM Constructions, which come about because we contacted a current affair. After that it aired, we got a lot of heavy-handed tactics to try and keep my mouth shut. There's a lot of other subbies that come forward and say they're in the same position as me. A lot of these subbies can't actually afford to go and get lawyers to take these guys on, because what these guys do is these guys will string it out for 2 years, which I've been facing for 2 years, and they'll just throw all the money they want at it until you just actually give up and say, oh, there's no point in doing it anymore. Now this guy, Frank Nadeni, has actually changed the company from Maxtra Constructions, changed the name from Maxtra Constructions to HICOM Constructions. Same ABN number, but now Frank is now the actual director and secretary of the company. Now with for a guy that's been bankrupt twice, the guy drives around in a brand new latest model Bentley. He lives in a villa in Toorak. They bought property in Richmond, and his son also drives a brand new Maserati. He also was doing a job in Cessnock in New South Wales, another community centre, which I'd found out. I sent Kathleen a recording of Mr. Frank Nadeni stating that he's actually, a phone recording stating that he's actually ripping off the Cessnock City Council. The Cessnock City Council have asked Frank Nadeni for an email, and I believe stating information to back up his progress claim. They're saying they're waiting on a big windfall, another payment. They've overclaimed, but they're waiting on another big windfall. Once they get that money, they're not going to give Cessnock any more money, and then they're going to start a big shit fight.
This recording, where's the recording from?
When a current affair approached me and said we approached them and they were going to do the run, yep. Somehow it got leaked out that Maxtra Constructions found out that the current affair was sniffing around. They were going to do an investigation. The next day, on the Wednesday, it was going to be out on the Thursday. On the Wednesday, I got confirmation that it was going to go to air on Thursday.
Yep.
I come home that night and there was two guys from Extra Constructions telling me that if I don't bring a current affair straight away and pull the pin on the airing of the program, that they're basically going to come after my family and me kids. In saying that, they actually said they knew my kids were up at the local swimming pool doing swimming lessons, so they had eyes on my kids where they were. They knew where my wife was. They knew what kind of car she was driving. They knew the registration number of the car.
And you spoke to us.
So on that time, I got pretty frustrated.
I'll let you finish.
I got pretty frustrated with Frank. I'd ring him on the mobile numerous times to tell him to back off and that we're not going to succumb to his heavy-handed tactics. In ringing Frank kept hanging up. But the last time I rang him, he'd actually pressed answer instead of hanging up. So I listened on the conversation, and I could hear him clearly saying. Then I got my wife to get her phone and record the phone conversation because I wanted to try and get him out and catch him to say that he was doing this stuff to me. So we got this recording of Frank clearly saying that this is a government-funded building and ratepayers' money in New South Wales. That he's clearly ripping off these guys. And it's clear as bell on it, saying that he's ripping them off. They've overclapped him to buggery. They've got another claim coming in very soon. They won't give them any more information that they're requesting until they get the final payment. Once they receive that final payment, they're going to walk away from the job and cause a big fight. And this is constant what these guys do.